All right, this is going to be the second video in my little series of getting to know the trucking industry as far as how it relates to maybe insurance related tips or sometimes coverage related tips, insurance prices and different types of insurance. So today in this moment in this video is going to be about the bill of lading. A bill of lading is something that almost every trucker is familiar with. It's how you get paid, right? You're going to pick up a load and you're going to drop off a load. There needs to be some proof. So the bill of lading is kind of everything when you're talking about moving goods in trucking. Why am I bringing this up? If you already know about it, why am I bringing it up? Well, the main reason that I'm bringing it up is because I see a lot of truckers being taken advantage of, and if you just focus on that one item, the bill of lading, it's going to alleviate most of the confusion and cut out the scam artists. So, here's how it works. If a trucking company picks up a load, they get a bill of lading, a document that shows what's on the load, where it's going, and sometimes even who's delivering the load, the driver name, the vehicle number. The more information on it, the better for the parties that are purchasing the goods or shipping the goods, not necessarily the trucker. So the more information on it is better for those entities. The trucker, they're just doing their job. They're getting it from point A to point B. And you, the trucker, are mostly my clients. But these videos are for kind of everybody in the industry. Maybe brokers will see this valuable, or other truckers, or family members of truckers. So the bill of lading, I'm just going to read off what Google says about it. A legal document that serves as a receipt for goods being transported and as a contract between the shipper and the carrier. It includes information such as the name and addresses of the shipper, the carrier, the type and quantity of goods being shipped, the agreed upon freight charges, and the terms of delivery. Lots of information on one document. So, how are people getting taken advantage of? Well, let's say David owns a trucking company and he's purchased insurance and he gets contacted by a broker or somebody represented as a broker. And they said, David, are you in Chattanooga and able to head over to Memphis for a load? We have a load running Chattanooga to Memphis. And David says, yeah, I'm available. Shoot me over the details. He gets the details. When he gets there, David has a trucking company, David's Trucking Company. When he sees that bill of lading, it should show David's Trucking Company on the bill of lading as the shipper. If it doesn't, if it shows maybe the brokerage or a different version of the brokerage's name, highly suspect. Here's what happens. A brokerage might get a load but not have an available, a trucking company might get a load but not have enough trucks to run that load or available trucks in Chattanooga. So they're finding somebody in Chattanooga that has their authority and they say, David, run this load. You have insurance, you have your authority, you'll be good and we'll pay you for it. So David goes and picks up that load, and on the way, something horrible happens and there's a claim involved. And so here's where the bill of lading really comes into play. I don't like to bring it up, but truckers, it's a very dangerous industry, and some of them do pass away, and some of them do inflict damage that causes a death. In those cases, the bill of lading and every detail involved in the claim is highly scrutinized. Rightfully so, right? The surviving families, should get compensated accordingly. So the bill of lading is in question. David running this load, or David's Trucking Company not being listed on the bill of lading, means that David Trucking Insurance, David Trucking Company's insurance, will not pay for the damages caused. And the lawsuit will ensue and it will be outside of the insurance coverage. I don't want to get too much into the legal stuff with this. I just really want you to see that maybe David delivers a load and he gets paid for it and nothing ever happens. He didn't read the bill of lading very carefully and notice that his trucking company name was not on there. In those cases, it's almost no harm, no foul. However, it's illegal. So when the bill of lading is analyzed, it determines coverage. In this case, David's trucking company would not be on the bill of lading, but another trucking company would. So they'll look at that other trucking company. And all they're going to verify is the VIN for David's trucking company is listed on this insurance, which we know it is not. Because David has his own insurance, his own authority, his own USDOT number, and his MC number. But he was basically doing a favor for somebody else. Well, that somebody else was saving $10,000 or $20,000 on insurance by not adding David to their policy. In doing that, they completely put themselves under the gun when David has an accident with David's trucking company. David's trucking company insurance will deny the claim because it wasn't his load. Now, the original trucking company that had the bill of lading originally issued to them, their insurance company will deny the claim because it was a vehicle not being used on their policy. Bunch of red tape in there. I don't really want to get into the weeds of it because the MCS 90 law becomes a factor. That's going to be talked about in a later video. And this is a federal law or a federal agreement or understanding of anybody who gets their own authority. So, we get into the weeds with how that is kind of plays out in the long run. But ultimately, if David's trucking company is not listed on the bill of lading, he should not take that load, even if he's given up money that day. As a matter of fact, if he lost money that day by driving over to Chattanooga and not being able to pick up that load, I would turn around, if I was David's trucking company, I would turn around and either file a lawsuit in small claims court or send an invoice to that original trucking company saying, hey, I lost out on this much money, this much fuel, this much time, pay me. Even though you didn't get your load run, pay me. Because David's trucking company at that point does have a viable lawsuit. Again, I'm no lawyer, I'm just an insurance agent, but I do support my clients in all of the things that they go through, and one of those is lawsuits. And I'm there with documentation and preparation for my clients to help get them through those tough times. So the bill of lading determines a lot. And let me just go ahead and keep reading. When a trucker is dealing with a claim, the bill of lading can play an important role in establishing liability. For example, if the bill of lading indicates that the goods were received in good condition, the trucker may be able to avoid liability for any damage that occurred during the course of the shipment. Additionally, the bill of lading can help to identify the parties involved in the claim and to determine the terms of the shipping agreement. That pretty much says everything that I just said in a nutshell in much better terms. Google Bard AI is pretty helpful for these things. Here are some of the key roles that a bill of lading plays in a trucker's claim. If a contract between the shipper and the carrier, it is a contract between the shipper and the carrier. This means that the bill of lading outlines the terms of the shipping agreement, such as the freight charges, the delivery date, and responsibility. So we may go back into the same things that I said earlier in the video. However, bill of lading determines coverage. It really determines coverage because it's going to determine what parties are involved, what DOT numbers, what MC numbers, all of those things, the broker and the receiving party. So all of those are scrutinized and looked at when there's a claim. So I want you guys or gals out there that are starting a trucking business or in a trucking business, and you're familiar with the bill of lading, help others out with this knowledge. You know, I've got to ask you to like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, just because I would like this momentum to keep going as far as awareness in the trucking industry. Obviously, I am an insurance agent that would love to sell you insurance based on maybe you're getting to know me on my other video, but this is my insurance agency. AMA United Transport Services doesn't quite sound like an insurance agency. That's with intention. I wouldn't, maybe. I've been open since 2011, but eventually I would like to do other things in the trucking space. So over the past 10 plus years, I've been learning these things through trial, few errors as possible, but I've been learning this thing through my clients. Bill of lading determines coverage. Be familiar with your bill of ladings. Know what's on them. Know how they should look. And be prepared. Avoid any of those scam artists. Anybody that tells you to pick up a load and your name is not on that bill of lading, tell them to take a hike. Peace.